Okay, so now that we have our baseline, we have the prototype, this is a very good starting ground. Now, as a next step, we would set up our environment. So what we would need here definitely is Replit, right? Replit is to deploy the app later on. And now it depends as well on the level of complexity of your app idea. You would also need stuff like authentication and storage, etc. For this teleprompter app, we don't need it, right? It's a very simple idea, what I would recommend you to start with as well. But there might be ideas where you need sign-ins and data storage. We do all of this with Google Firebase. This is the easiest way to do it. So the first step here would be to go to console.firebase.com. I think that is actually enough. I don't think we need the google.com. Let's see. No, it doesn't work. So sorry for that. This is a little mistake here on the slide. You actually need console.firebase.google.com. So .google.com, there you go. And then, yeah, you just need a Google account, right? You probably have that already, and you click on create a project. We give it a name, and then we can unselect this here, join the Google Developer Program. Don't think we need this. Germany, actually, I don't think we need this either. I would not select it right now. And also Google Analytics, we don't need. We can still use that later on. So for now, I would do like the most minimalistic setup and click create your project. So while this is creating, the other tool that I told you that we will definitely need, and going back to the slide here, you see configure services. We will do that now. But in the background, what we can already do is the Replit integration. And you can see it says here connect Firebase keys as Replit secrets. Okay. So what we have to do here is I suggest that you start out with a template. I linked you the template in the gift section. This is what I told you, like makes it easier to hook your app up with the keys from Firebase. So you would say remix template. Now I'm logged out here, so let me log in again. Okay, so I'm in. And if you click on remix template, you can just use this. Let me call this demo for the AI coding course. This is private use. And then it will start a new REPL. It's a new project. They call it REPL. All right. This is done already, right? We are set up here. And on Google Firebase, we see that our project is ready as well. So we continue. And now what we need, I have to look in my notes here because this is quite a bunch. We would need the web view. So you click on this coding symbol here. This is the web view. You give it an app name as well, demo for the course. Also set up Firebase hosting for this app. You don't need that. And then you just say register app. And now it will give you some SDKs. It will give you some keys basically. So what I will do here now is I will open up Replit in another window. So you have on the left Google Firebase now, and on the right you have the demo for the AI coding course on Replit. And here you go and search, and then you search for keys. It's actually secrets. If you search for keys, it also pops up, but it's actually secrets that you have to search for. And now you can see you have some fields here, right? So next public Firebase API key, for example, next public Firebase auth domain, or even something like OpenAI API key. And that is basically what the template makes easy for you. You don't have to set this up manually. You already have it here. And what you do now is you copy the keys from Firebase to your Replit app. Okay, so for example here, I copy API key to API key, add secret. So this is saved. Auth domain, I paste this. Everything that is like in between the brackets or the quotation marks here, I copy that and then I see auth domain, this belongs here, add secret. Then I have project idea, I copy that. I see this is project ID, put that in here, add secret, storage bucket, I copy that. Storage bucket is here, paste it in there, add secret. Messaging sender ID is here, messaging sender ID, add secret, and then I have app ID as well. Copy that, Firebase, app ID, add secret. This measurement ID here, I don't have it here, don't think we need it, so you can skip that. And all the other API keys you have here, it depends on if you need them, right? If you want to build something with the OpenAI API key, that would belong here, for example. Okay, so you continue to console now, and now your Firebase app or project is already connected to your Replit project, to your app, basically. This is where your app lives, right? Where it will later be pushed to the internet. So as a next step, you would now need 3 things, right? Basically, this is basically what you will probably need if you wanna like build a fully fledged app with sign in, with data storage, etc. So first, this would be a database. So you click on build and then Firestore database, and it will prompt you to a few questions. I will make this a bit smaller here on Replit. I think we actually are already good to go here. We don't have to do anything else, but let's leave it there for a second. So here you would say create database. The ID is by default. Then you choose a location. Here it probably makes sense to use something that is very close to the location where probably most of your users are. For example, I would do Europe. And then you can start this in test mode first. So create this. Now it's provisioning the database here. And then as a next step, once this is done, and this might take a few seconds. All right, you're already good to go here. And then as a next step, you would need storage. So again, you click on build, and then you have hosting, data connect, storage. Here it is. For storage, I would, for example, right now have to upgrade my project here to like a billing plan, right? I would have to pay. Actually, pay as you go. Maybe I can even connect it to my existing billing account. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's possible. So I can actually show. Okay. It says it has reached its maximum link project quota as well. But this is easy, right? You just link your billing account here, then have the storage as well, and set it up in test mode as well. So when they ask you production or test mode is fine for now. And then authentication would be the last step. This is build, authentication, and then this is get started as well. And here, for example, you can now choose like your providers, right? That you would allow people to log in with. Most people have a Google account, so you can just say Google, for example. And here, what you need as you enable this project. You use your account here, right? That you already have. You save that. And now what is important here is that you go to settings and authorize domains. So here you will now like tell Firebase from which kind of domains it should actually like trigger this authentication method. So once you're there in the settings, in authorized domains, what we now have to add here is our dev domain, the so-called development domain, right? On Replit, you get that by, and this is why I left on this window here basically, because this is still what we need from Replit. You click on run, and then you will see this little web view here popping up. And then in this URL section, you click on that, and you can see dev URL, right? You will need that. You copy this, you say add domain, and then paste this in here. And this is just like the development instance, right? It will not tell Google Firebase basically every time someone goes on this domain, please trigger this sign-in method with Google, right? So this is what our app looks like here right now on Replit. What we don't have done yet is connecting this mock-up that we created with V0 with Replit. But Replit for now is basically our backend, right? So to say, we can like deploy our stuff here, and now it's already connected as well with Firebase. So we have storage, we have authentication, we have a database. In case you need that, it's connected now. And we have already connected our dev domain here, so it knows what we are talking about. And once we've deployed this app to the internet with a real domain, not with a dev domain, we can also, or we have to go back here again in the authentication section, settings, authorized domains, and then add this new domain. But we will do that when it's time. For now, we set up Firebase, right? So you can sign in users, you can store the data, etc. And it's as easy as that. That is the easiest way to create more complex apps, basically. And the template on Replit helps you to make it really, really easy to connect the two.